Look at all that red on the screen. You ever hear about the Red Sea? Is the stock market crashing right now? What are your internal emotions when you see this red color on your Robinhood or M1 Finance stock app with a red line going down? Are you upset and irritated to see your stock holdings going down? Or are you like me and try to remove all of your emotions when it comes to investing? Keep this in mind, your hard earned money isn't lost until you click the sell button, right? How do you think Jim Simmons had annual returns of over 66%? Long story short, he ran algorithms on his computer which curated a bunch of data, terabytes of data, so he could remove his emotions from multiplying his money in the stock market. If you heard about Jim Simmons and his Medallion hedge fund, click the like button. I'd be interested to see how many investors out there watching this episode follow some of the top investors like Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, George Soros, and Ben Simmons. Those are just a few. Will we get more than 26 likes for this episode? Maybe the like counter will go up to infinity? Just a thought. In this episode, I'll be going over a quick analogy called the flush out. The flush out highlights what's going on right now in the stock market. The stock market is falling, correcting, crashing this week. You choose the word that you think should be used. I prefer to use the term correcting. To end, I'll go over my stock portfolio that I've been building to infinity. As mentioned in my previous episodes, any signs of a pullback are welcomed in my opinion. You'll notice I did deposit more money so I could put it to work during this sell-off. So let's get straight to it, the flush out. What's up, everybody? This is Doriso here. We'll sit back, relax, and let me tell you what those two words mean to me. Imagine you owned a home located in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been there once myself and had a blast. So you own your nice estate home in Las Vegas and need to get some groceries. You just finished eating a healthy chicken and rice pre-cooked meal. Yes, you're eating healthy today. Summertime will be here before you know it, and you need to make sure you're in tip-top shape for those beach trips. You're now washing your fork and bowl in your kitchen sink. As you clean your dishes, you realized that you forgot to get groceries for the upcoming week. Plus, you just remembered that you're actually hosting a couple of guests tonight and don't have anything to serve. Mid-thought, you rush out of your house and head towards the nearby grocery store. You get to the store with your typed list of grocery items to buy on your iPhone. First thing on the list, cereal. You've been eating Cheerios for breakfast since a kid. As you located the Cheerios box in the first aisle, you notice a discount, a sale. You normally pay $4 for a box of Cheerios, but today you'll be paying $3. A dollar off, which breaks down to 25% discount since you normally pay $4. Sweet. What a deal, right? Next item, a bottle of Coca-Cola for an upcoming birthday party. You'll be entertaining a few guests this week, and a Coca-Cola bottle will go great with some pizza. Only 2 slices for you. Remember, you're trying to stay healthy for those beach trips, right? As you pass the Pepsi products on your right-hand side, you notice a sticker with the price of $1 crossed out. $1 is the price you normally pay, and the sale price today is 50 cents. What a day. 25 cents off that Cheerios cereal box, and now 50% off that Coca-Cola bottle. It must be your lucky day, right? As you finish getting the rest of your items in your cart, you pay at the checkout and hop back in your Tesla Model S. What's up, Elon? And head back home. You enter your garage and start unloading your groceries and hear a sound coming from the kitchen. You run and turns out you forgot to turn off the water running from the faucet after you finished cleaning those dishes that you used for your chicken and rice meal that you enjoyed earlier. The running water completely filled up the sink at this time and the floor is soaked. You rushed to turn off the water and you needed to unclog some of the food that was stuck on top of the drain. You grab a few towels to soak up the water that poured onto the floor. Luckily, it wasn't too much water, just a small puddle. Now that I went over that quick imaginary story, back to the flush out, the stock market flush out. I believe we are seeing a flush out in the stock market these past couple of days, this week. Let's use the kitchen sink from our story as an example. When we left our imaginary Vegas home with the kitchen faucet running, the water in the sink began to rise higher and higher as time went on, since the drain was slightly clogged with some leftover food debris. When the water level hit the very top of the sink, it started to overflow onto the kitchen floor. The water level in the sink is a great analogy for the overall stock market, or to make it easy, the S&P 500. As the water levels were overflowing onto the floor, we ran in to remove the clogged debris to flush the water down the drain. This is called the flush out. There's always a multitude of catalysts that start the flush out in the stock market. This analogy is perfect for a toilet bowl as well. Every time you flush the toilet, the water levels go down the drain and then rise back to the regular water level within about a minute, right? Maybe you have a bad toilet and it takes a couple minutes. Our kitchen sink, for our analogy, was completely filled with water, 100% filled and overflowing. This 100% water level is comparable to the S&P 500 being in overbought territory. The flush out brings these overbought levels back down to neutral levels and then eventually to oversold levels, as we're seeing right now in the market. Have you heard about the relative strength index? Well, the RSI for short is a great technical indicator for investors that use many research techniques when it comes to investing your hard-earned money in the stock market. In regards to the RSI metric, my goal is to not overcomplicate things for this episode. The main point is to focus on those upper and lower lines of the RSI index on your screen so you can understand where the market's relative strength index is currently at. Look at the chart on your screen. Starbucks, one of my new holdings, hit the bottom line of the RSI at this time. I purchased my first share, yes. I used technical analysis to find a good entry point when building positions in stocks that I have a strong bull thesis in. As I mentioned in an earlier episode, I also like to review the investor sentiment survey on your screen to see if the mood of individual investors is leaning more bullish or bearish for the given week. These numbers are always fluctuating up and down. It's a good metric to look at, especially if you're an investor that thinks we make most of our money in a bear market. It's just that sometimes we just don't realize it at the time. The investor sentiment survey is a great indicator to find out if investors are fearful, meaning bearish, or greedy, meaning bullish. Obviously, both metrics are in oversold territory and bearish territory at the time of this recording. Will the downward momentum in the stock market continue? Who knows? Investors around the world were enjoying the euphoria of their stock accounts climbing higher and higher each day these past couple of months. Based on my social awareness research techniques that I've been discussing in earlier episodes, I noticed a lot of new investors entered the market these past couple of months, especially the younger investors trying to join the party, even with little money. Apps like Robinhood and Webull make it so easy to buy a stock on your smartphone nowadays, and I feel a lot of beginner investors that just started their investment journey are just buying stocks with the click of a button on their iPhone rather than doing the proper research and knowing exactly what the company's financials look like. Imagine sitting down with the owner of a successful restaurant in your town. You see the lines out the door every single night, and the owner is giving you the opportunity to be a part owner in the profits. How many questions do you think you may have before dishing out your hard-earned money as an investment in the restaurant? I'm sure you'll want to review the financials fully before signing the dotted line and hand over your personal check. Back to the sell-off that's going on this week. What do you think new investors are doing right now? I believe many beginners are panic selling with fear that they will lose a lot of their money. This is the buy high, sell low strategy that many beginner investors eventually get flushed out. Remember, I was just there 10 years ago, brand new, just a beginner investor, just started to pile in my money, and I definitely learned a lot on the journey. Remember, the stock market doesn't just go up. Have you seen the wave of Tesla investors these past couple of months? The stock price was just going up, and people wanted to join along. Looking at the price at the time of this recording, Tesla closed at $679 and is down 12.81% in just one day. Tesla stock is down another 7% as I'm editing this episode. Think about the emotions that come into play if you bought Tesla stock in the 800s and even 900s. You may have heard the saying FOMO, meaning fear of missing out. Any investor that bought shares in the 800s, 900s may be fearful that the stock will continue to fall. That's a short term mindset. A loss of $100, $200, $300, maybe even $400 isn't fun. That is, if you're planning to sell today. Long term, Tesla may indeed be a fantastic investment when you look back 5 to 10 years from now, right? To recap, the stock market is currently in a flush out stage at this time. Do you or I know how long this flush out stage will last? Nope. If you do, please let me know where you bought your crystal ball. Unfortunately, my DeLorean time machine is still getting detailed in the shop. Quick mention, the Fed could easily make a rate announcement, or there could be another news headline, and the market could begin its upward trend once again. The thing is, no one could predict the future perfectly. Even Michael Burry had to panic for some time before he made his money in The Big Short. Have you seen that movie? Now, am I a financial institution that has to sell stocks during this sell off because I need to meet certain performance returns this month? Nope. That's the greatest thing about personal finance. I'm just a regular person, maybe like you, that invests in the stock market, and I'm building one of my stock portfolios here on YouTube from $0 to infinity. That's right, zero to infinity. There's no cap. Time will definitely tell how high it goes. Hopefully, you're subscribed by now. I could definitely use another co pilot on the journey to infinity to go along with the ride. As all the current subscribers already know, I'm just getting started. I've been investing in the stock market for 10 years and I love business and multiplying my money. Will there be bumps along the way? Absolutely. Luckily for us, the safety equipment is fully installed. I'm looking at the engineer right now, and he's giving me the thumbs up. So that was my brief rundown of the stock market sell-off that's going on this week and actually is continuing as I'm editing this video. Will it continue to the point of being categorized as a bear market or a recession, the next recession? Time will tell. Portfolio is a little over $1,900. Current gain is about 25 bucks. It's definitely gone down from the previous episodes. In my YouTube stock portfolio, I have 28 shares of Penn National Gaming, 30 shares of Fiverr International, plus one new share of Starbucks. That's a new position on the board, our first dividend player. The plan is to add some dividend income to the portfolio, and I think Starbucks is a fantastic company and brand to add to the portfolio. There's definitely lots to discuss about my bull thesis on Starbucks stock. Remember, these positions are still very small. We're not even at four figures in any of my holdings at this time. That's over $1,000. If you've been following along with these episodes, you already know I have plans to continue to deposit more and more money into the portfolio for each episode. Make sure to tune in for the next episode. I'll provide more insight about my new holding, Starbucks Corporation, a dominant coffee brand with over 30,000 locations worldwide. Yes, there are quite a few locations in China, but guess what? Any signs of a pullback are welcomed, in my opinion, since I'll be able to reduce my cost basis. The lower, the better. The portfolio is still very, very small, and I love discounts. And that goes hand in hand with going to the grocery store and getting some great deals on Cheerios as well as Coca-Cola. As always, do your own research prior to making any investments. Read the disclaimer on your screen fully. Remember, all opinions in this episode are mine and mine alone. Do not buy any of my holdings just because they are in my portfolio. I have different investment goals from you. I'm not a financial advisor, and this episode is for entertainment purposes only. We're on a mission from zero to infinity. So hold on tight and keep those emotions in check. Peace.